Welcome back to Passing Notes with Chaz Guinn. My name is Hayes Brumbeloe. I am your host. It's good to have you back, and it's good to have you here, sir, Mr. Chaz Guinn, the man, the legend.
You know, I wear these slick jackets, but maybe half our viewers are like, look, I'm listening. I don't know what the hell you're wearing, right? I don't care what the hell you're wearing either, but...
Dude, that's a sharp jacket. I gotta start wearing jackets. I mean, I've been doing the button-down thing, but you know what?
You've been doing the camo thing?
I did. I camouflaged myself a few episodes back. Yeah, I'm not wearing navy anymore because this wall back here is not my friend.
Producers came down on you.
We're gonna need a new shirt.
Yeah, we're gonna
bring in the new shirt.
We're gonna need to change it out, pretty.
All right, so I do have a real question for you, and it's this goes back to our office. Nespresso or Keurig?
Okay, we've had this banter. Now, most of us grew up
with an old school coffee pot.
Thank you.
Pops
right?
waking up
Just
early, turning that
school.
thing on.
And Folgers in you. Right?
Best part of waking
Come
up.
on, that smell? Okay.
Oh, bro, love it.
I know how we grew up.
But we're the new generation of Keurig and
You
Nespresso.
fast
and all
forward,
that.
you got this Keurig that came out. Coffee in these pods.
Yeah,
coffee
single shot, single cups.
Boom, boom. Got yourself a cup, right? And then this Nespresso went to kind of
Old
fancy.
George Clooney.
Why do I need to go to a coffee shop when I have this?
Mr. George Clooney's out here telling me I need to drink an espresso every morning.
Hit you with the black and silver. He just hits you with the grin.
Oh, it's a sexy looking little machine.
Boom.
Boom.
Let's just go ahead and answer the question. Let's get one on the board for Nespresso.
Oh, really?
Give me the Nespresso. Give me the heated steamer little cup that goes with it. Give me a little froth.
See,
You're
I guess I'm old school, man.
Yeah. Give it a.
I'm a Keurig man. I don't love the Nespresso. I just don't.
Too fancy?
It's not that it's too fancy. I don't like the flavors of it.
Oh.
It's just like
they have these cute little Italian named the Malosio. I'm like, give me some of that. Give me whatever that is.
Give me the donut shop coffee.
Okay,
for
that's
the
classic.
Keurig.
Okay,
Let me get that normal, just medium roast, and call it a day. I'll pick out my creamer. I don't know, man.
Are you simpleton?
I am simpleton.
That's okay.
You know what I mean?
That's okay.
But see, I just don't love the Nespresso. I can't. And here's the thing: I have an espresso maker at my house. But that's like you ground up the stuff, you put it in there, you turn it. It's like pure barista style, but it's an absolute mess. Cleaning it up, it's more for looks. I never touch it.
You're the guy that wants to smell his beans. Right, dude, hit your grinder. I see how you are.
the full deal.
No, you're like,
so here's the thing.
I'm old school.
I do love a good espresso, like when I make it, but the Nespresso is not the same thing. It's not.
Okay, the time to hit the Nespresso, though, that needs to get sped up.
quicker.
No, that needs to get sped up, though. I'm kind of like, yo, dude, we've been here for 8 minutes already.
So that's why I've got an espresso machine collecting dust, because when I do knock the dust off, it's awesome. It's a legit double espresso. You know, I think my dad had one for the first time. He's like, what's this fancy glass mug? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because, you put it in like the little, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm a Keurig guy.
So we're gonna have to probably open this debate, right?
I mean, I'm sure
hit us in the comments.
Yeah,
Somebody's
gonna be like Nespresso for life.
Keurig for life.
You know what, dude? I just like I like a good black coffee.
Look, on the go, hit me with the Keurig.
Okay.
Let's go. Make it quick.
Okay.
Something, boom, boom, right?
Okay.
But if I'm gonna sit down, I'm starting the morning, starting the day. I'm on my second cup.
Oh, okay. So second cup.
Okay. All right. You're now I'm going back on my score, right? See? Don't try and twist me in front of the public here, right? Got me going down one lane. I stuck with with espresso. See? That's terrible.
All right.
I'm sticking with espresso.
All right. Enough of coffee. I will say though, in the fall in Texas, I wake up early. And that's just because I've got 2 toddlers in my house, and I wake up early to have the house to myself. But I tell you, in the fall in Texas, spring and fall in Texas is magical. But I'm telling you, the coffee just hits different. Because you go outside, that crispy 50-degree morning, the coffee just hits different.
That's when you come out in the morning, you go, good morning, Joseph. Good to see you, old friend. right?
I'm telling you, dude. It just hits
different.
different in the fall. I love it. All right, so let's get in. All right, so that kind of feeds into what we're talking about today. Today's all about success tips. All right, clearly you guys know what we do. You know, Revolve Capital is all about the note game. But here's the thing. We have both been very successful in our careers. And I wanted this podcast to really be about just success tips. I mean, here's the thing. You can go anywhere on YouTube and be like, here's what you do to be successful. You know, I mean, there's a million places you can go. At the end of the day, I'd like for us to just share things that were successful for us. You know, what we do on a daily, weekly, monthly basis that just attribute to, you know, constant movement of the ball downfield. You know, for me personally, I kind of hinted to it. You know, I wake up early, between 5 and 5:30 every single morning. Now, again, I have toddlers, so I have to kind of beat them to waking up because it's a shot in the dark.
It's like your only alone time too. You're like,
it could be 5:30 for them. It could be 7:30. I don't know. I don't know what I'm getting that day. So I'm just like, control what you can control.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's like Will Ferrell in Wedding Crashers or in Old School. I don't know if I have enough time. I don't know.
I don't. But if I can wake up between 5 and 5:30, it's shower and then meditation. Meditation is huge for me. Oh, just hit the mic. Meditation is huge for me. Discovered it a couple of years back. And honestly, that's one of the best things that I have added into my routine, my daily routine. And here's the thing. I don't hit it every single day. Because again, toddlers. So it doesn't always happen, but you know what? I try to get it in at least 2 or 3 times a week. Cause I mean, it just really, I feel like our brains are like these filing cabinets of just nonsense from the last week, the last day, the last month, just life. And these filing cabinets just get filled with all kinds of nonsense. And for me, that meditation moment, and it could be prayer for someone else too. I mean, there's, those two things kind of go hand in hand. But for me, meditation, it just allows me to just take all those files and throw them out. And so it just allows me to start the day just super clean, super focused. It makes me a better father, a better husband, a better coworker. You know what I mean? Those are the pieces where it's like when I start my day and I get that in, ooh boy.
Preach.
Ooh boy, preach.
Keep going. Keep going.
So it's shower, it's meditation, it's a cup of coffee by myself in the dark. As weird as that may sound.
It's simple things you're saying.
It is. But it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, when you start your day that way, it just makes tackling life 10 times easier.
So it's consistency too then.
100%.
Right?
100%. What is it for you?
Let's just keep it simple, right? So gratitude for me, I have to start my day with gratitude because I think it's too easy to start our day with stresses and things that we need to get done.
I love that, by the way.
It's gratitude. And the second thing that I try and do is I try and move my body. Okay, so I'm not saying everybody's got to be the most fit person, but whether it's going on a walk, on a hike, whether it's the Peloton, whether it's some sort of workout,
Peloton.
it's move your body because the physiology of your body goes hand in hand with your thinking and your mindset.
100%.
But I've noticed, though, the minute I start touching my phone, the first thing when I get up in the morning is the moment that worries, stresses, concerns, external forces start to kind of play into the mindset.
Right.
And now I'm starting to have the day getting tossed to me versus me being proactive. I'm now reactive.
Right.
So let's keep it simple. Gratitude for me is when I'm thankful for another breath. I'm thankful for my life. I'm thankful for my family. I'm thankful for the career. I'm thankful for the vision, the mindset.
Yep.
Right? And I live there.
Yep.
I at least try and live there for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
That's a long time in the early part of the morning.
Yeah, but that's a big thing. That's a big thing. If you can start your day just thinking about or writing down or thinking about the things that you're grateful for, what it does to you energetically. I mean, your mindset is you couldn't force a negative thought in. And that's one of those things where it's just like your day is now teed up for positive, for high vibration, like all those things. It's like you've started your day on the right foot, and it's like such a big part. One thing I do love about you, by the way, there's a lot of things I love about you, especially your jackets.
Well, thank you, man.
But you turn your phone off at night, or you set the silent, whatever it is. I don't know. It's like 8:30. It's off. and it's like either you're in dad mode or husband mode or whatever it is, and I'll literally go to text you because it'd be maybe about, hey, this next podcast I want to talk about this, or hey, let's do this in the office. Your phone is, you're done. And I love it.
I had a great coach that told me, be where your feet are. Be where your feet are.
Be in the moment.
Yes. Stop being tomorrow. Right. Don't worry about tomorrow. Stop worrying about what that girl said. Stop worrying about what your dad or your mom said.
Right.
Stop being so concerned about the things that are not here right now. The pet peeve for me is when you're sitting at the dinner table across from folks you want to be at dinner with and you're on your phone. Talking to people that aren't here and you don't want here, but you kind of want to just touch base and make sure they're here. It's like you're not even being present.
Right.
So you're so concerned about tomorrow, but not even living in today. I know that sounds very meme-ish, but it's true, right? Think about the gratitude part of what I start my day out with is because the minute I look at my phone is the minute I start looking at my calendar, the minute I start looking at my to-dos and my follow-ups and my meeting schedule and my travel schedule, and now I'm more concerned with the day ahead. Right now I'm like, I'm reacting to the day's tasks. So to me, when I start with excitement, happiness, gratefulness, there's this mentor that I have out there that teaches blissful dissatisfaction.
Ooh, what is that?
It's like an oxymoron, right?
Yeah,
it's like,
what is that?
I'm happy, yet I'm still a little dissatisfied. Okay, so I'm blissful because I'm grateful. I'm grateful for my health. I'm grateful for the things that I have.
The opportunity.
But I still want more.
Right.
And that's okay, right? I'm still driven to change the outcome that I'm working on. Right? So it's like, okay, so I'm still dissatisfied with where I'm at in my journey. I'm still enjoying my journey, though.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we talked about that a lot. Enjoying the journey, enjoying the moment.
I'm victim to that.
Yeah. Everyone. It's so easy to be sucked into it, but it's one of those things where it's like, whether you're starting a company, whether you're, changing careers, whatever it is, enjoy the journey. Because here's the thing. For me, I've learned over my career, you can't always see the big picture, and sometimes you're not supposed to. Sometimes you're not supposed to see the big picture because that's a part of the journey. The journey is all of those little lessons you learned along the way that make you that better version of yourself when it's time to go.
You know what I heard that was probably hard for me, though? I was probably year 7, year 8 on this journey. And somebody's like, you've probably been socked in the mouth a few times, but how long have you been enduring that? Have you built that true grit yet?
Yeah.
Or are you thinking, hey, it should already happen by now. I've been doing this for 7-8 years. It's almost a decade. Why am I not there? Yeah. And then you look at true folks that have honed their craft. Look at athletes. Look at stars. Look at really successful strategists in the finance world. Those folks didn't get there overnight.
No way.
That was a constant decade after decade getting punched in the mouth of getting determined, hey, look, through grit, I'm going to find what I truly want. And that starts, though, with perspective. And do I want to be on this journey? You keep reminding me that, like, look, we're almost there. And we know that Revolve Capital is around the corner from immersion, like true growth and like substantial market share growth, right? And I'm like, let's go. And you're like, I know. Can you imagine where we're going to be a year from now?
A year from now. The conversation a year from now.
And I'm like, a year from now, right? I'm victim too. I'm victim too to the not being where my feet are.
Right.
I mean, look at us today.
It's such a good saying.
I mean,
it's so true.
Be present. It's hard. It's hard.
It is hard because we get distracted so easily with the day-to-day minutia where it's just like, man, when you finish that day, you're looking at yourself and you're saying, whoa, look at all the things that I accomplished today, but I learned. I think life is all about learning lessons. I think that's a big part of why we're here, is to learn. You have to always be a student to the game. And I think you have to approach everything. It doesn't matter what your craft is, whether you buy notes from us or you fix cars for a living. It doesn't matter. I mean, these are things where it's like you should always be honing your craft. And it's one of those things. What is it? You would know this better than I would. It takes 10,000 hours to perfect anything. Whether that's sports, whether that's a craft, but it's 10,000 hours.
Malcolm Gladwell in the book Outliers. That's where that came from.
Yeah, okay.
Right. And he talks a lot about, when boys and girls start school and how they'll be even more perfected in their sport if they start in the fall versus them starting in the spring.
Why is that?
Right. So, for example, when I graduated high school, I was 17 my whole senior year. But I had other seniors that were 18 that whole year. The leap between that year of maturity, that year of growth physically,
Sure,
that year of additional time to have my body kind of be underneath me,
sure,
is noticeable at that age and growth, which Malcolm Gladwell talks about. And he also talks about the 10,000-hour rule. Do you really think that you're going to become an expert in your craft at 5,000 hours, 4,000 hours, 3,000 hours?
No way.
Right? So this is kind of what I love that book. I'm glad you brought that up. But it's really about today's age. And I was just watching this really cool movie. What is that? The Social Dilemma. On Netflix.
That'll make you think.
And talking about how all these physicists and these astrophysicists and these PhDs have come into the tech world and are perfecting how to keep us on our phones even longer. Right? So I know now that is a device.
We're addicted to it.
That's going to get me sucked into screen time. So what I'm now trying to do is I'm trying to preserve, right, how many hours I'm now looking at a screen, right? And I'm not saying I don't look at screens. It's my life. It's my business, right?
100%.
However, if you're not where your feet are, Hayes, and you're constantly where you're in the focus of where folks are not, then I don't know how we can talk about success tips.
Sure.
I don't know how I can even teach you to be a student. You talked about books. For me, my goal is how can I hit 12 books a year?
Nice.
1 book a month.
Yeah.
Do I fall short with my kiddos? Absolutely, right? But then I'll try to successfully hit up 2 books in that same 1 month. You and I are reading that Your Next 5 Moves from Patrick Bet-David.
Yes.
Great guy, mentor for us, right?
Yeah.
Because he's speaking candidly, he's speaking directly to many, right?
That guy is awesome.
What he's trying to do is be a disruptor in the entrepreneurial space. That word has become so coined and so termed in your little write-up on your social media. That's what you are, per se. But really look at the definition, right? Are you truly owning your own business? Are you setting up infrastructure and processes to run your business, right? Are you putting in hours to set up marketing, vendors, funnels, driving
all
you
the things?
Come on.
Yeah.
So I like what he's teaching is intrapreneur, right? Steve Ballmer, the owner of the Clippers, was an intrapreneur. He worked for Microsoft, right? And look at his net worth, right? But he worked for a company. Nothing wrong with working for a company and growing a department, growing a footprint within a company to make them who they are.
100%.
What's wrong with that? Why are we glamorizing the entrepreneur when there's nothing wrong with an intrapreneur?
Oh, I think that space is absolutely blowing up because at the end of the day, there's so many people who are seeing things like, there's speakers everywhere. I mean, that are talking about being an entrepreneur and stuff, but not everybody can just stop what they're doing to be an entrepreneur. They can be an entrepreneur in the business that they're in, and that's how they take where they are right now to the next level. What are some nuggets? You talked about reading books. I think books are huge. I haven't always loved to read books.
I didn't in high school. I mean, I didn't even in college. That was like a thing you had to do. It's like, it's because
I wish I would have, because there's some really good stuff out there, and I think we're in a time right now, especially with like Audible. I mean, you can listen to a book. Does that count? Does that count?
Yeah.
Totally counts.
Yeah,
right?
because that's the new way to get through books, right? However, it's what I've noticed were the topics enjoyable enough when you were a kiddo?
No way.
That's the problem.
We were force-fed just crap.
I mean, even going like my business school, finance, going through finance is like there's very little that was transferable into my current occupation.
Sure.
Right? Sure, I got good foundation, good principles.
What do you mean? You're not using the Pythagorean theorem?
Every day. It's like, come on.
Thanks a lot, Miss Susan.
Yeah.
6th grade was awesome.
The physics part. It's like, the calculus part. It's like it's simple math.
Yeah.
Right? And modeling out simple math. That's what
Yeah.
we're using, right?
Yeah,
The
yeah,
stuff that
sure.
we were using more as kids than we were
Yeah.
as young adults.
Right.
You know, but that being said, like back to the book part. What about the topics? What about the
Right.
subjects?
Right.
See, there's things now I think we're engulfing ourselves into from a book perspective on topics we want to get deeper in on. I want
I
to
agree.
learn, how do I cultivate men and
100%.
bring women together in a culture that causes you to lean on one another stronger.
100%.
How do I learn principles to lean on one another stronger when folks maybe haven't even been in a team environment throughout their course of their life?
Sure.
I've met countless people that have, grew up playing tennis, grew up playing golf. You grew up in this like single man, single woman sport, single person environment that said,
Yeah,
look,
yeah.
I didn't really have to lean on a team member
Sure.
to get an outcome of success, of winning a championship or something like that. So now you get into your grown years,
Right.
and now you're in some sort of team environment, right? You've never had to do this your 29 years of life.
Right.
So how now do I get to lean on John for this specific project that we need to deliver next quarter?
Right.
Right? How are we
Right.
going to go out into our field? And now you've got the upper northeast, I've got the southeast in terms of a coverage area, but we now need to come back with clientele, production,
100%.
reporting, but I've never had to lean on anybody before.
Sure.
Okay, so from us, even though that's maybe not our specific business model, I'm trying to cultivate and learn how to cultivate.
No
And
doubt.
school didn't teach me that. Hayes.
No way.
Sure, life taught me that, but
No doubt.
no book taught me that.
No doubt.
Right, so that's where I'm trying to really get deep on, right, kind of the dot connecting amongst personnel, amongst people.
You played competitive sports, and then you played collegiate football, and you were damn good. So do you feel like your competitive nature has been a huge driver for a lot of your success? I know it has been for me. I'm just competitive wise. My competitive nature has absolutely been a driver for my success. I can answer for you and say yes, but I want to hear it from you.
Yeah, I think taking a no is hard for me still.
Sure.
And the competitive side of me, the grit inside of me says there's what school didn't teach me is that there is more than just one answer to the problem. They always kind of showed you there was just one solution to the problem. I think there's many to one problem, right? And so what I noticed in competitive sports was, although maybe my route was to go to the right, but maybe it was an outside coverage DB and defensive back that's pushing me inside. Now how do you alternate?
Sure.
How do you audible? How do you still get open, right? And that happens in life. This path that you originally were going down, maybe this job that you originally wanted didn't happen. Now this new door and new career is opening for you. Do you go in, or do you just stick with what you know?
Right.
Do you audible?
Right.
Can you pivot? Can you change? That really comes back to the person, the risk tolerance, etc.
Sure.
But we've talked about this a few episodes ago. Are you still a student? See, for me, I'm still remaining from a mental mind frame standpoint.
Student of the game.
I want to be coachable, and I want to be a student of the game. I love this interview that Jerry Rice gave when he was 41 years old with the Raiders, almost on his last game.
Right.
And this interview gal says, where do you still feel like you're at in your career? Something you still have to prove. Hands the mic over, and guy says, well, I'm still learning the position. She hands the mic back and goes, what do you mean? You're the greatest of all time. And she's like, well, I've noticed that my hips don't work like this. I need to drop my elbows to do this. And he was still learning kind of the physics of his body.
Right.
And at that age, when you know dang well he had full command of his body.
Right.
Right? But he still was being coachable. He was still remaining a student of how
His craft.
Come on.
Yeah.
So, but that kind of goes back to the person, though.
100%.
Right? And if that person still kind of has that knack
Right.
and kind of has that moxie that makes them up, I think that we're going to have a lot of synergy between each other. I think success tips that we're trying to kind of share with the audience
Yeah.
are going to hit
Yeah.
a little different.
No, and I agree with you 100% because I think that makes sense for someone who is a newcomer to the note buying space. And it's not about a newcomer to the note buying space or even a seasoned buyer in the note buying space. It could be for anyone. But being coachable, being a student of the game, the value of that alone. Because here's the thing, doors open up every single day. I think Revolve Capital is potentially a door opening up for someone watching right now. And I think it's one of those things where, are you coachable? Do you want to learn? Do you want to take it to the next level? There's an opportunity here. It could be somebody who's watching and be like, I absolutely love what I'm doing, and I just think you guys are goofy and the jackets are awesome. And that's cool too. We'll take that all day long.
Yes, we will.
But it's one of those things where it's just like, hey, is there a nugget that you can take away from this interview that you can then implement in your life and make you the best version of yourself tomorrow. Because it's not about yesterday. It's about tomorrow. It's about today and it's about tomorrow. And I think that if you're a student of the game, it never stops.
Let me say it like this.
It never stops.
I think here's a different kind of visual for the folk here is that the version that I'm going to meet from myself when I'm 50, when I'm 60, when I'm 70, I want me to be so darn proud of that person, that man that I'm shaking this hand on.
Sure. I love that, though.
I think that effort and that work starts today.
Sure.
So if anybody can walk away from this is to say, look, the version of yourself 5 years from now, 1 year from now, 10 years from now should be so damn proud of the person that you've now become that you recognize and you're proud of that person that you're meeting.
No doubt.
Those two people that you meet 1 year, 5, 10 years from now, they shouldn't be strangers.
Sure.
Those two people should be twins.
Sure.
And they should be like, woo! Heck yeah, where you been?
Yeah.
Right? And you're so happy from the strides that you made, but it starts with the simple things I think we talked about. Getting up early.
Making your bed. That's a big thing.
You saw that Navy SEAL YouTube video where
First
it says
thing in the morning, make your bed.
And that guy talk about the complications of moves and tactics and techniques that guy has learned. And he starts with the most simplest of tasks.
Make your bed.
And says, look, start there because then it starts to build momentum.
Exactly.
And for us, we start with real simple things here. I know we start with that, but that builds momentum for our day.
100%.
You and I, after this, are heading to the office, so we continue to grow our two funds, 50 million, 75 million funds. We have them backed. We're looking at $80 million worth of asset flow. We're in the game, right? However, we start with very simple things to start our morning so we can build and scale throughout the day. Hopefully there's a little nuggets in there. Be proud of who you meet in the future.
I hope you guys pulled some nuggets from that. We appreciate you guys stopping by. I loved this episode, by the way. So thank you for everything you contributed. As always, like, share, send this to your friends, but make sure you go to revolve-capital.com. We'll see you next time. This was good. Cheers.